All right, so what's your name?
Jesslyn St. Esprit,
How old are you?
42,
Where are you from originally?
Pittsburgh, go Steelers. I grew up in Florida too, Siesta Key area, Sarasota, Bradenton.
Okay. And what are you doing out here in Phoenix?
I came here with the promise of work and a place to live, no strings attached, while I'm going through some mental problems stemming from 9/11 and the COVID pandemic.
Stemming from 9/11? What does that mean?
I took responsibility for the 9/11 attacks. I thought that they were my fault. I could elaborate. I don't want to right now.
No? Okay.
I can, but I don't want to right now.
So, what's your situation out here in Phoenix? Are you homeless?
Yeah, apparently my friend Mikey was more interested in getting laid, and the two chicks that we were living with, the one took out one night and started accusing everybody of stealing her jewelry and moving it, and woke me up at 3 a.m. And the next day, Mikey and my friend were arguing about me, and he was telling my friend to get me out. I had to go, and I was like, you know what? I'm out of here. I don't want to have to worry about this woman and you. You're supposed to be my friend, and you're not even standing up for me. So I walked out the door, and I tried to do hotel rooms and do some apps where I worked, but my cell phone got stolen, and it would just get more and more expensive. Next thing I knew, I was homeless.
So, where are you staying at now?
I just exist. I don't really try to plan or think about what's going to happen because I don't know. And I get really upset when I start to think about how I got here and what has happened in my life and how hard I work to be independent and successful. And out here, nobody knows me. So
You don't have any family members out here?
I met my one uncle for the first time, the first Thanksgiving. I came out here in 2022, and I met him for the first time, which he is my uncle's half brother. So I drove to Fountain Hills. I had Thanksgiving. I brought a bottle of bourbon, a bottle of scotch, and a 12-pack of Heineken. And he's retired Central Intelligence, so he is very much the polar opposite of me, as I wear tattoos and very loud and proud about, legalization and being a free spirit. So I just met him the one time. I never really wanted to reach out again because I don't like people to see me at rock bottom and needing help. A lot of times people like to keep me down, so I'm dependent on them. Or like to tell me about what I should be married, I should have a house, I should be a happy wife, all these things I should be that I'm not. So just that's the only family I know of out here other than the people I've met and along the way,
Where's the rest of your family?
Underground, 6 feet or so. My dad was cremated. He's buried at the Church of the Holy Spirit in Osprey, Florida. And I do have 2 brothers in Pittsburgh, 1 sister in Seattle. It's best that we don't live together. They talk a lot of shit. They talk more shit than my enemies, so I just learned to stay to myself and just try to figure out a way to get out of this hole. I have some connections in California that I know if I go back to them, I worked really well. I resigned honestly and ethically, that I think they'd give me another chance and a place to live. So,
Were you staying out there in Cali too?
I lived out in Cali 2 separate times. One time I worked for owner resales at resort where the owners owned half of it, so it's timeshare. So I know if I needed some strings pulled, they helped me with a place to stay and probably work too.
What city in California were you in?
The first time I was in Carlsbad, and the second time I was in Santucky, which is next to the Lakeside. That's where I worked. I did electrical. I was assistant operations manager for the electrical department. So I like to build the future
So you
through.
were doing good at that time, huh?
I love energy solutions and electrical design, energy efficiency, and just the amazing things humans can do with the engineers, like the Corps of Engineers and Siemens Square D. I love products that work right and good, and Cummins, Kohler, generation, power, solar power, all that stuff. It's all good.
Were you making a good living?
Yeah, better than most anybody I know. At least not as a single person, not coming from any money or.
Was it an hourly wage or?
No, I was
salary?
which always panned out. I mean, I did 80-hour weeks at least. So when I did the numbers, I was taking home like $10 an hour. But I love to be a quality person for my technicians. I would have anywhere between 10 to 20 electricians that, depended on me, making sure I had their schedule good and that, they made it home safe every day and feeding their families and happy. Now looking at their paychecks on their hourly or prevailing wage or time and a half, whatever they're doing, they definitely banked. I know that they've had many coordinators or dispatchers before and after me, but you never forget me. At least most people don't, especially if you work with me.
What are you doing now to survive out here?
I get food stamps, so woohoo. Some of these places have the food banks, but I've had my passport, my identification, everything stolen from me. So, I had an address. My little brother was going to get me a copy of my driver's license out of Pennsylvania, but I don't know. I haven't spoken to him, so I don't know if he sent it or if my friend here sabotaged me, because again, people like to see me down, independent. There's probably, if I get that, I would be gone or moving on. I'm not sure. So I've learned a lot about men in this, being on the street. I've never been so much out in public and walking around than I have here in Arizona, and it's so fucking hot. I mean, people offer rides, but I've had guys, hey, you want to ride? Yeah, oh my god, it's so hot. Get in the car, take me up to the nearest place I could get something to drink and water. Well, do you do dates? No. Alright, you could get out here. Not even out of the parking lot. So it shows a lot of character for the men out here that are taking advantage of women, in need.
Crazy, huh?
But all karma works, whether you get served it or it serves you, one way or another. In this half of your life or the next, you will get served and be owned. So as much as we all think that we are masters, we are slaves too.
So what are you doing to try to get out of your situation?
Holding my breath, praying that everyone could hear my thoughts and that I'm not this crazy that the psychiatrists or the nurses and the doctors that I saw during 9/11 claim that I am. I made disability, so I was, mentally disabled during that time. I put myself through college hoping that criminal justice would help me understand the abnormal psychology in my brain. But, I realized real quick that our system isn't built to employ people like me that can't own a gun or, have this record from being arrested by the police so many goddamn times that I lost count. First charge I ever did time for was overdue library books, and I was getting released from a mental institution. So any society that operates like that, I don't even know why I tried to participate. I should have just left, because America.
You can go to jail for not returning library books?
They either created the charge or made a funny out of a lifetime of harassing me. Yeah, my first charge, theft by deception. I did 8 days in jail for overdue library books. After being released, I did 30 days in a psychiatric ward of a hospital, and this is right before 9/11 happened. Wait, was it before? Yeah, because I went into the institute. I did 5 different hospitals because of they didn't know what to do with me. I wasn't a drug overdose. They sent me to dual diagnosis where you detox from and you have psychiatric issues, but they just put me there because they don't know what to do with me. I mean, what do you do when somebody's telling you that they don't trust doctors and nurses and they think that it's their fault that the plane's wrecked into the World Trade Center?
Are you messing with blues out here?
I did not touch the blues for the first 2 years. Thankfully, the police harassed me so bad out here too that they got on my nerves so bad. I said, fuck you pigs, I'm gonna do a fucking blue just for you. So I've kind of held strong to at least trying to do one every day. It's not my go-to. I don't like to be down. I'd much rather be up. But because of the officers out of Peoria and what they have done to me by forcefully arresting me, making up charges, probably a dozen times I've been arrested out here, more than my entire life, I think. Well, probably equally, yeah. Yeah, for about the last year, I've been doing about 1 blue a day, and thank you. You can thank the Peoria Police Department for that. Nobody's really dying from them either. Anyone is dying from a blue, it's either doing a combination and has pre-existing medical situations, or has dependency on wanting to die, so they'll smoke a blue to slash the wrist. I don't know what the fuck they're doing, but there's no fucking way that people are taking a hit of that shit and dying. If anything, they're over exaggerating, they're bent over and drooling on itself. I don't know how they get in that condition, because I've never hit a blue and ended up like that or looked like that. So I don't know what they're doing different than me, but it's amazing to me how people are acting when they hit a blue and they're so out of it. I'm so no, I don't know what that reaction is in their body that makes them display that behavior, but
Alright, well, hey man, thank you for sharing your story. I really do appreciate it.
thank you.
Are you okay if I post it up on my YouTube channel?
Yes, please do. You can find me on Twitter, Jesslyn Inc. JESSLYN_INC.
Is that it? Only a Twitter? Do you have an email?
I've been hacked, so I've been locked out of all my social media accounts, but the Twitter one is the one that I can get into the easiest. My last name is Saint Esprit. I do have a Facebook. It's first and last name, so you can find it that way too.
Alright, thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Have a good one. Stay